Today we are going to build an Internet on-demand connection in the Lumen Control Center portal. Our Internet on-demand connection will use Border Gateway Protocol, BGP. So once you've logged into the Control Center portal, go to the left-hand side of the screen under Services and select Add Services. Then select Add Internet on-demand connection. Under the Location screen, select Customer Port and then select the specific port on which you would like to build the Internet on-demand connection. Next, we'll need to enter a Customer Edge CEVLAN, virtual LAN. So this really can be any number from 2 to 4094, but it can't be in use on the port, and it needs to be available in your local area network. So here I will enter that number now and click Continue. Next, we'll be presented with bandwidth options. You'll select the desired bandwidth from the options presented. The bandwidth options are dependent on the size of the NAS port and could be affected by other network settings. In this case, a 1 gig port was selected, and we're then presented with bandwidth options from 1 meg to 1 gig. So for our connection, we'll choose 500 meg and then touch Continue. This next section will present us with some IP and routing choices. Internet on Demand supports IP version 4, IP version 6, and dual stack, which is IP version 4 and IP version 6. For this connection, we will choose IP version 4. We're then asked for the size of the WAN IP block that is required for our connection. Internet on Demand supports a /30, which will give us 2 usable IPs, the /29 for 6 usable IPs, and a /28 for 14 usable IPs. For this connection, we'll choose the /30, which will give us 2 usable IPs in the WAN block. We're then asked to select the routing option. Internet on Demand supports static, BGP, Border Gateway Protocol, and directly connected. For this connection, we'll select BGP. Once we select BGP, we're then presented with some other options, all pertaining to the BGP configuration. Note that advanced routing knowledge may be required. So we can clone an existing BGP configuration if we already have an established BGP routed service in the Lumen network. Or we can create a new BGP connection. For this connection, we'll select Create New. Next, we're prompted to enter a Public Autonomous System number, ASN. If we have one, you would select Use My Own and enter that ASN number here. If you do not have your own autonomous system number, you can use the Lumen provided customer ASN of 10753. For our connection, we're going to use the Lumen provided customer ASN. The next field asks if we need additional LAN IP block for our connection, and we will, so we'll select yes, and then we're asked about the size of the IP LAN block. So we could select that /30, the /29, or the /28. For our connection, we'll select the /29, which will give us 6 usable IPs. We're then asked if we're bringing existing IP space to this connection. So you may have IP space that was assigned to you via ARIN or another registry agency that you might want to advertise in this BGP IOD connection. And if that's the case, you would have already had created an Internet Routing Registry String, an IRR. So what you would do is say, yes, you're bringing space, touch Add String, and you would enter that routing registry string here. If you don't have any existing IPs that you would like to advertise in this BGP connection, you would say no and move to the next setting. Now you would like to determine the maximum prefix length that you would want to advertise in the connection. So it's anything between 29 and 32. I will leave mine default at 29. Next, you're asked if you want the ability to black hole traffic to IP host when under attack. That's a yes or a no. Note that this I in the circle is information on that feature or setting. So if I click on the radio button, it brings up some additional information on black holing traffic. If I would like to turn that on, I can or not. Then we're presented with some route announcement options. When you touch the drop-down, you'll be presented with some other options you can select. There's default, Lumen routes plus default. You can have full routes and full routes plus default. For our connection, we're going to stay with default and move to the next setting. And this is asking us if we would like to enable an MD5 password on this connection for security. You could say yes and enter the MD5 password or say no. So for our connection, we'll keep it at no and move to the final setting for BGP, and that would be if we would like to enable BFD. BFD, bidirectional forwarding detection. You would want to enable it or not. And again, here's that radio button for additional information. I'm going to click on that, and that will bring up a lot of information about bidirectional forwarding detection so that I can read that and understand if I would like to enable that in my network or not. So once I have that setting the way I'd like it, I'm going to touch continue and go to the next section. This next section will present some security add-on options for the Internet on-demand connection. This first option will be to add DDoS Essentials to the Internet on-demand connection. Lumen DDoS Essentials is an add-on security service for Lumen Internet on Demand that provides automated, multi-layered protection against common volumetric distributed denial of service DDoS attacks. It uses real-time threat intelligence from Lumen's Black Lotus Labs to help safeguard your network and maintain business continuity. This option is selected by default, but you can deselect it if this option is not required. And then press continue. Next, we are presented with two options for Lumen Defender. Lumen Defender is a network security service from Lumen that proactively blocks cyber threats such as malware, phishing, and other malicious traffic at the network edge using real-time threat intelligence from Black Lotus Labs. It's integrated with Lumen's Internet on-demand platform and provides automated protection and threat insights for enterprise networks. If available, you can select Lumen Defender Essentials, Lumen Defender Plus, or deselect both if you don't require this service on the Internet on demand. I'll select Defender Plus and continue. Next, you will create a service nickname. This should be something that you will recognize in the portal because this will help you identify this Internet on demand connection. And touch continue. From the customer billing and account screen, you will select the appropriate customer account and billing account name and number. You could have one or you could have many, so be sure to select the correct one that you would like the Internet on demand bill to. When you have that the way you'd like it, touch continue. And now we're presented with a kind of a review of everything that we've selected during this process. And we would go through this and make sure that all of the settings are the way we need them. Review the order information closely and check it against your BGP configuration requirements. Then select Submit Order and we'll be directed to the provisioning screen. So once we have this all the way we want it, we hit Submit Order and it will take us to the provisioning screen. Once you submit the order, you will be taken to an order provisioning screen, which will step you through the stages of the provisioning process. Configuration typically takes between 5 and 15 minutes. You do not need to stay on this screen. However, once the order completes, you will be shown all of the pertinent information related to the Internet on-demand connection, including the WAN IP block, the LAN IP block, the VLAN that you selected. All of that information will be shown to you. But do not worry if you've left the portal before it completes. You will be sent an email notification with all of that same pertinent information. Use the VLAN information you identified during the order process for tagging your equipment. VLAN tagging is required for on-demand services. Use the on-demand service configuration guidelines available on lumen.com to ensure your equipment is ready.